Today, I'm going to talk to you about the most important copy you'll ever write in your life, to the most important client you'll ever have in your life. This is the one client you must not fail to convince, because if you do, it will ruin everything in your life. That client, my friend, if you haven't guessed it, is you. Let's get into it. Copywriting and marketing are about influence, most of all. Selling is a different thing. Selling is transactional. It's in your face. It's right now. It's take this deal. The timer's running out. The price is going to go up. I'm going to do everything I can to motivate you to buy right now. That's selling. And there's nothing wrong with it. And I love that game. I love to play it. And I love to be played by it. I just do. That's life for me. I enjoy it. What's the difference between selling and copywriting and marketing? Well, I believe that marketing and copywriting, what you're doing when you're writing and creating content in that sense of the word, is you're changing mindsets. You're teaching, you're illustrating, you're giving metaphors, you're telling stories to sway people's beliefs and opinions in a certain direction to make them more open to a proposition you're going to give them later on. Now, for some people, that will sound very Machiavellian and manipulative. And to you, I say, it probably is. Motive counts. I'm doing those things when I'm selling to you because it's for your own good, so I believe. You have agency to decide whether I'm right or not. So it's a fair system. It works. If I serve you, if you buy something I sell you and it does you well, you're going to continue to buy from me. We'll keep trading that energy back and forth, and we both win, and everybody around us wins because we're both happy. So that's a good thing, right? Yes, just give me right. So what's this got to do with convincing yourself? Because your worldview, how you see the world, is how you experience the world. So if you see the world as scarce and troublesome and scary, then guess what? It's going to be scarce, troublesome, and scary. If you see the world as positive, abundant, and supportive, that's the kind of world you're going to live in. And it makes a difference. What you expect is mostly what you get. You can argue with me, but test it yourself before you make a conclusion. Try it. If you're a pessimistic person, try being optimistic on purpose for a week or two and see if you don't find things going better in your life. The statistics show pessimists are more accurate in their view of reality, but optimists live a better, happier life. Which do you want? Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? I propose there's a way to be both, and that's what this is all about. It's about convincing yourself of the most productive, most positive, and most realistic worldview that'll get you the results you want most in life. And what it really comes down to, most of us want happiness. Don't you just want to be happy? Of course you do. That's why you do everything you do, to be happy. What is happy? It's when my expectations of the world meet my experience of the world. Isn't that right? Yes, it's right. So if you're not happy, either your expectations are off or your experience is off. Can you change the experience? Sometimes. You can move to a different city. You can get a different job. You can meet someone new. You can do many things to change your experience, but some things you can't change. Like a few years ago, we got locked down under pandemic. We couldn't change the fact that a virus was rampaging around the world and having far-reaching effects societally, governmentally, and internally, psychologically for all of us. We couldn't stop that from happening, but we could alter the experience of it we were having. Many people went through the same thing and had a very different experience. Yes? Yes. It's because they convinced themselves, subconsciously most of the time, of a worldview, and they lived out consistently the second-order behaviors that came from that worldview. Now, what does this have to do with you, and how do you put this to work for yourself? You've got to think about what you're willing to acknowledge in your life, what you're not willing to acknowledge, and what you can do about it. And most of all, I propose writing copy to yourself. Yes, writing copy, copywriting, writing ad campaigns to yourself about the kind of world you live in. Does that sound crazy? It sounded crazy to me when I did it, but I did it out of desperation. You see, I talked recently about defeating Parkinson's disease. Now, I still have a disease. I still have challenges, and yes, they will get worse with time. Even though I had this radical treatment lately, I had DBS, deep brain stimulation surgery. Google it if you want to know more about it. Be careful what you watch. Some of it's kind of gruesome, but it's a good thing. It's a great procedure. I'm just going to go on record saying this. It's a great procedure. If your neurologist tells you you qualify for this, if you have Parkinson's or dystonia or other disorders it's used to treat, consider it very seriously. I'll talk more about that another time. That's not what this is about. This is about the other thing, the symptoms I can't hide, I can't control. These days, because of my treatment, I feel peaceful, I feel at ease, I feel less pain, I have less trouble getting around, I'm more independent, and I'm loving it, I'm enjoying it. I feel hopeful, I feel like myself again, finally. But I have wondered, would I have been as open as I have been about my struggles if my struggles had been easier to hide? My symptoms are not something I can control. I can't stop the tremor or the shaking or the imbalance or the inability to speak clearly just because I have a Zoom meeting today, or just because I'm speaking at a seminar, just because I'm talking to a client. I have no control over those things. I'm sharing them whether I want to or not because I have no choice if I want to live life. But what about the other things we deal with? The things we can control, the things that are not so obvious to everyone else, the things that can't be seen, the things that are inside of us that we think we must endure alone. Perhaps we've convinced ourselves that nobody else will understand, nobody possibly could. Or perhaps we feel ashamed or guilty, or perhaps we don't even understand our problems ourselves. Is that possible? Ever? For you or me? I think so. For me, as I pondered this, I came to the realization that my most troublesome symptoms, the ones that were causing me the worst problems, were not the ones everyone else could see. They were the ones that no one else could see. My biggest struggles were internal. And once I understood that, I was able to move forward and take control and get my life back. I knew I could improve a life that I had once been told would only get worse and worse as time went by. It's been said that depression is the inability to construct a hopeful future. That's what happens to us when we become suicidal. I've been there. I can speak about it with authority. I couldn't construct a hopeful future for myself. All I could see was a future full of pain and suffering with no purpose. That's no kind of future to hope for. Here's what I came to realize. My affliction may be incurable, but my thinking is certainly not. My thinking is something I can change. It is curable. How to do that is the question. Answering that question for myself led to me writing my new book, which is called Read This or Die, Persuading Yourself to a Better Life. This new book is about that journey of discovering how I could take the skills I developed over a lifetime of persuading people through copywriting and marketing and selling, and use those skills on myself to change my thinking. I could change my thinking even though everything else I tried had failed. The positive thinking books, the motivational speakers, the seminars, the rallies, the audios, the videos, the miracle healing services, the weird supplementation exercise routines I did, all the things I tried to do to cure myself did not work because I was trying to cure the wrong thing. Yes, for sure, get the physical relief you need if medical science can provide that relief. But more importantly than that, you've got to change what happens inside of you if you ever want to survive what happens outside of you, regardless of what that is. That's what this book is about. I walk you through how I use my pastor framework, the method I devised and use in my copywriting and selling career to sell myself on a better life, and how you can do the same thing for yourself using my system. In the book, I tell you the story, and I also show you the method, and you get with the book a free 6-part mini video course that walks you through doing the process yourself, whatever your situation is. You don't have to have Parkinson's or cancer or something devastating. It'd be helpful if I wasn't trembling while I'm doing this. If there's anything in your life you want to change, large or small, it does not have to be a devastating diagnosis or a breakup of a relationship or the loss of a company. It can be as simple as you don't want to eat Pop-Tarts for breakfast anymore. Or maybe you want to exercise every day. Or maybe you want to go to bed at a certain time, get a certain amount of sleep, or stop using your phone so much. Whatever it is, you can change it if you know the technology to do so. And this is a technology that worked for me when nothing else did, and I believe it'll work for you. Get your copy of my book today. It's called Read This or Die, Persuading Yourself to a Better Life. It's available on Amazon, or you can go to readthisorddiebook.com. You get a free 6-part video mini course that walks you through the process in the book. It helps you change your own life. Whatever you want to change, you have the power to change it. Do it today. Until next time, I pray you live long, enjoy great health, and you prosper with purpose. See you next time.